guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ailey if you're new. Today's video, I actually was having a look at this bad boy here. So this is the Gemini 2 palette from Melt Cosmetics. I do have the original Gemini palette. This is it here, and this is the number 2 version, the sequel, so to speak. So I got the Gemini palette originally because one of my friends on here on YouTube, Jen, thank you very much, convinced me to buy it. I needed it. And I absolutely adore it. I love greens and I love warm browns. So this palette was just, I was going to like it. I was always going to like it. When I saw this palette, I had to sort of stop a minute. I'm not one for rosy tones, but I don't know, something about the way this palette looks. I don't know what it is. I was drawn to it. Is it just me? Do the greens and the pinks together just not look stunning? I don't know. It's weird. They're like warm pinks, if that makes any sense. I am wearing it right now. It applied just as beautifully, if not more, than the original Gemini palette. I love that it's got all the wee roses in it. One thing as well I noticed, there is only, well, I would say one shimmery shade in the palette and one sort of like satiny shade. You'll see in a second when I swatch it. But anyway, I'll put on the screen how much it was. I got mine from Beauty Bay, but when I saw it, I had to have it. I kind of lost all my senses. Okay, so we have Bella, or whatever it's called. That is that one there. Then we have Ladylike, which is this one. Then we have Sweetheart. Is it Sweetheart? Yep, it is. And then we have Gemelas. Oh, I might butcher some of these names. I apologise. I apologise. There you go. So 3 very sort of rosy colours. So the first shade is very much coral. A corally colour. I have it highest up in my crease just now. Ladylike is very much a sort of warm, rosy toned. Sweetheart is like my perfect lipstick shade, I would say. And then we have Gemelas, which is just a beautiful, warm, rosy toned brown. Then we have Lovesick. We have Schmood. LX Queen. And Matteo. Is it Matteo or Matteo? Matteo, I think. So, I would say that Lovesick is a very red wine shade. It's beautiful. It's got a little bit of a browny tone in it, but it's a really nice red wine. Schmood is, oh, I don't even know how to describe it. It's the one that I was saying is more of a satin than a shimmer, because it's not really shimmery. This is a wee bit more shimmery. It's more of a metallic shade, but it is just, it's beautiful. It's very complementary to the other tones, but it's like a shimmery brown or like a metallic-y brown, like a coppery brown shade. Then we have LX Queen, which is a very browny tone, and then we have Matteo, which is a greeny brown. It's the best way to describe it. You'll see it there. It's a brown base with a green and yellow shimmer in it. I don't know if that's coming across on camera, but you can see it when you look at it. The last 2 shades are Boy Mum and Almond Eyes. It's so funny that the darkest shade isn't at the end of the palette in these. So it basically is a greeny brown and a army green. I love shades like these. Are my 2 favourite shades in the palette. I have Almond Eyes underneath in my lower lash line, and I have Boy Mum in my kind of darkest bit on the outer corner. Then I have Gemelas and Sweetheart sort of mixed in just to blend it all out as well. And then I put a little bit of Lovesick just between the light shade and the darker shades. Okay, the one thing that I would say about this palette, if you're gonna get it, is don't expect it to be a be-all end-all palette. I mean, you could literally make a smoky eye with any of these shades and it would look beautiful. But what I found was I actually dipped into my Born This Way palette to get this light shade in here. So I actually used the Jeffree Star Liquid Star Shadow as a base, which I really like. I'm going to definitely get more of them because I thought it was going to be like Tipp-Ex, and it's not. It's really nice and soft, so I might try and get more of these for work because I think for brides and things like that, for brightening them up, beautiful. So yeah, my only gripe with this palette, although I don't know what I would take out, I really don't. I'd maybe sacrifice Lovesick, even though I've used it. I would maybe sacrifice that, or Bella, even though I used it as well, for a light cream shade, because I think that though it doesn't go massively dark, although these two are pretty dark, it covers all of the darkness. You've got a couple of shimmers in it. It really needs just a light matte shade, because if you look at the Gemini palette, it doesn't actually have one either. They go light, but it's not that light. Let me just see if I can get like a clean finger to show you. Like, that is not that light a shade. It's reasonably sort of mustardy shade. So it's not really a complete palette. If I was going to use this palette on its own, it would be for a smoky eye, a dark smoky eye, or I would pair it with another palette to get the light shades out of it as well. Don't get me wrong, the ones at the beginning of the palette are light enough to make sort of like the blending out shades, but I really like a light inner corner, and I'm actually having quite a lot of fun playing around with makeup now that my eyes have healed enough for me to do makeup, and I find that like I don't have to work so hard to create looks like this anymore. I don't have to fake it so much, which is really good, and my eyes are just naturally way more almond shaped and way more, what's the word? There's so much more lid space. It's amazing. So yeah, if you haven't heard about my blepharoplasty or want to hear more about it, I'll link it up here for you. But basically, is it worth the money? Yes. It's £49, I'm pretty sure. And these pans are huge. Yeah. I hope that wasn't too much of a rambly mess. Look at the packaging as well. The packaging is absolutely stunning. So obviously, if you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If there's any other sort of looks that you would like to see, let me know. I will have more graphic looks coming. I can't wait to see what it's like to do them on these new eyes. But yeah, obviously, like I said, subscribe and let me know what you would like to see, and hopefully I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.